Hey, honey,
Yes, Barry?
let's get out of here.
Where are we going?
Where do we always go?
Este ritmo de palmas, sin naturaleza, hasta encontrar la playa. Por eso grito al mundo, yo soy de Puerto Vallarta. Samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de arrullo en el mar. Samba de Puerto Vallarta.
Hello, fellow travelers, and welcome to this episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. I'm your host, Barry Kessler, and I'm just so happy to be introducing you to my favorite vacation destination. Hey, maybe it's even yours, and that's Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. That music you're listening to is performed by Alberto Perez, and Alberto is the owner of the Lapa Lapa group of restaurants here. Those are the Lapa Lapa, Puerto Vallarta's oldest restaurant on the famous Los Muertos Beach, and the El Dorado Restaurant Beach Club right next door. So you can enjoy that fantastic view of the Los Muertos Pier, all lit up at night in beautiful colors, or during the day in its grand splendor, for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, seated with your toes in the sand, right at the water's edge. It's so romantic. It's so Puerto Vallarta, my friends. This week we are going to have another twofer. Last week we had one, and this week again. First we're going to go and talk with a couple ladies who are very passionate about dogs. They're Anne Selby and Deborah Donick, and they have a project called Sandee's Project. It involves helping dog rescuers, rescuing the dog rescuers. And anyway, then we're going to go visit a very special restaurant near the Inglesia de Nuestra, Senora de Guadalupe, that nice church right in the middle of town. And that restaurant's called Casa Traditional. And we are going to visit with my new buddy, Nino Montes. He's the manager there. But before we get to Anne and Deborah and Nino, let's see what's happening this week in Puerto Vallarta, the 8th of July, 2019. JR tells me that they finally got some rain last night, actually up to 3 inches last night over in the romantic zone, but it's been really dry. There have been a few sprinkles here and there, maybe a quick storm or two, but the rainy season, which usually starts on the 15th, is somewhere out there. Maybe it's already arrived, who knows, with that rain yesterday. But we're going to find out. Ciapal, which is the water district, they actually put out an advisory asking the residents in Puerto Vallarta to conserve water until the rain actually comes. So water conservation, some water rationing in Puerto Vallarta, really? Anyway, we should get some rain, and all of those problems hopefully will get washed away. Speaking of Ciapal, they got an award. I've got an article here in Noticias AZ, dated July 4th, 2019, and it says for 28 consecutive years, Ciapal receives Water Quality Certificate. The article by Daniela Gonzalez reads, Ciapal Vallarta received the 2019 revalidation of the certification of sanitary condition of the water supply and sanitary quality system for human use, following the process carried out by the Commission for the Protection Against Sanitary Risks of the state of Jalisco as an intermediary of the Federal Ministry of Health. They are 28 consecutive years in Puerto Vallarta and 8 in the delegation of Las Palmas. So that's really great. Let's see here. It keeps reading, the achievement is a positive factor for the well-being of the population and the tourists in the destination, said the head of the laboratory, Soraya Topete Camacho, who has worked as manager and coordinator of the internal processes for obtaining the certificate for 15 years. The population can rest assured that they are receiving quality water at the national level. We are the only organization with 28 consecutive years, and tourists can feel calm, and you can open up your faucet and fill your glass of water and drink it with confidence, he says. The certification implies coordinated work of all the departments involved in the supply of drinking water to the population, from the extraction systems of the purification and chlorination and distribution, verification of the quality of the water delivered, as well as the supply of water in the pipes to the marginalized areas that don't have the service on a regular basis, he explained. The 28 years the health sector in Puerto Vallarta have been growing this certification process, which is strengthened with the certified external laboratories to give greater certainty to the results that guarantee the quality of the resource offered to the population. So that's really great. Happy birthday. 28 years. Fantastic. It is really, really hot. Very, very hot in Puerto Vallarta this time of year. And if you are staying at an Airbnb or somewhere where there isn't a pool, it can be pretty brutal. If you plan on being outside, especially and not inside your air-conditioned room, it's hot, especially during the day in the off-season. So some of the hotels and some of the all-inclusives, the big resorts and stuff like that, are offering day passes to use their facilities. This is nothing new. This has been happening for some time. And the Vallarta Tribune actually puts out one of these lists, and I actually have a link in the show notes to this list. Example of some of the offers are, for example, you can go to the Tropicana over in Old Town. You can pay 200 pesos for a day pass, which is about $10 US. And for that, you get the use of the pool, a lounge chair, a towel, and you can credit that whole 200 pesos towards food or drink. So it's a pretty good deal because it's pretty much free, because you're definitely going to be spending at least $10 to eat and drink while you're there, especially if you're going to be staying the whole day there. So that is pretty great. And it's in Old Town. It's right there on Playa Los Muertos. So the Tropicana, that's a good pick. Then there's the Hotel Buenaventura. That is, it's a beautiful property. For about $50 US or about 900 pesos, you can get their all-inclusive plan for the day. So I imagine that's food and drink, more than likely. Up at Casa Karma, over in Conchas Chinas, they have a pretty good deal. For 380 pesos, or about $25 US, you can get their oceanfront infinity pool, which is beautiful, by the way, access to their private beach, a towel, and your first drink for free. So that's not bad at all. The most expensive one that I saw was over in Punta de Mita, over at the St. Regis. And for only $280 US, that's right, 280 buckaroos, you get to bring 2 adults and 2 minors. So that's 4 people, 2 adults, 2 little ones. And you get $50 credit back towards food. I don't know, what will $50 buy you over at the Punta de Mita St. Regis? Maybe a half a bowl of guacamole and chips? I don't know. But anyway, that's kind of steep. But if you want to go check out a really beautiful property and you don't mind dropping almost $300, go on out there. There are 30 properties that are listed on this page here. And that can change, by the way, as the slow season progresses. That actually does. I'll try to keep on top of that for you. And like I said, I've got a link to that great list that the Vallarta Tribune puts out. It's in the show notes. Go check it out over there. The state of Jalisco legislature has actually gotten into the act regarding the planned hydroelectric dam over on the Rio Horcones down in Boca de Tomatlan area. I will read from Vallarta Bahia Online, where it reads, now this has been translated to English, folks. It might sound a little funny. Reject hydroelectric construction in Puerto Vallarta for environmental damage. It reads, July 3rd, 2019. Experts and academics reject the construction project of the Las Juntas Hydroelectric Dam on the Horcones River in Puerto Vallarta and Cabo Corrientes, as it does not have an environmental impact manifestation, although it would generate changes in the ecosystem, such as an increase in the temperature of the water that would affect flora and fauna, warns the deputy of Morena, Bruno Blancas. Now, Morena, that's a political party in Mexico. The Morena party is actually in charge. AMLO is part of the Morena party. The current position with the information we have is that the hydroelectric should not be carried out in that area by some anomalies we found in the permits, because the environmental impact would be a both devastating and, on the other side, it is a tourist zone. More that room or others. There are no factories. There is no need for electricity. You supply enough. So that's very interesting. That does not... Boy, that translates awful. But anyway, the deputy clarified that he's about to meet with the company Energía Verde Mayer, which is the construction company of the hydroelectric plant, to also know what his point of view is and thus refine the position in front of a project that has been rejected by the communities, mainly from Cabo Corrientes, which they have manifested, blocked roads, and gathered signatures to stop the construction. So anyway, it's interesting. It's perhaps this is an encouraging item here, but it doesn't mean squat, right? It doesn't mean anything until they put a fork in this project. But yes, the dam on the Rio Horcones, it makes no sense, folks. You know, we all know that. Now tomorrow, July 9th, there's going to be a demonstration at 9 o'clock in the morning right at Boca and the 200, over on Highway 200 there. There will be a demonstration. I have a link to that in the show notes for the Facebook announcement, and the Facebook announcement reads July 4th, 2019, Puerto Vallarta, Jalisco, Mexico. Like a dying beast in its last convulsions of strength, the dam companies, led by Jose Alaya Michal, are working around the clock in an unprecedented acceleration of activities in preparation for their would-be dam of the Rio Horcones River. Mounting social and political pressure to halt their project has undoubtedly caused panic among their work crews and stakeholders. Their current strategy appears to create as much damage as possible, so there will be soon not much left to save. And these are the same companies that have been advertising themselves as environmentally friendly. Their continued environmental destruction includes widespread clear-cutting of trees, blasting of the very bedrock along the shores of the river, and other preparation for a complex of infrastructure, including a dam, kilometers of pipeline, and a power plant. All of this is intended to privatize and commercialize the public's water without any direct benefit to any local community. In a pair of forums last week, organized by the state representative Bruno Blancas, which I just read, over the topic of water, nationally respected experts on the subject of hydrology and biodiversity condemned the project on environmental and social grounds and called for it to be halted. And in Puerto Vallarta, the forum on Friday, June 28th, the attorney Alejandro Lopez Aguayo stated that the best lawyers are those who are affected by an action. Not only do we in Boca de Tomatlan stand to lose our river and our livelihoods by this dam, everyone in Puerto Vallarta and throughout Mexico stands to suffer from irreversible damage to this river, a loss of our priceless natural heritage, and an eyesore that cheapens Mexico in the eyes of the world as an ecotourism destination. While legal deliberations continue, we call for you to stand with us in defense of the Rio Horcones. And I have a link to the Facebook article, It's also on my Facebook page. If you go to the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show Facebook page, check it out there. You might want to get involved, and if you do, that's in the morning, 9 o'clock, and you might want to sign the petition. I have a link to that also in the show notes. And yeah, let's see if we can put an end to this damn dam. It's been a while since we talked about the Guinness Book of World Records and Mexico, but it happened. Guadalajara set the Guinness World Record for the world's largest tequila tasting. Some time back, we were on a big roll, weren't we? We were breaking Guinness World Records left and right in Mexico. And I mentioned that the largest group of tequila tasters, this was back then, we were talking about tequila, and the largest group was a record of 864 tequila tasters earned by the city of Toronto. And I thought, what? Toronto, that's Canada, you guys. And I started bagging on the folks in Mexico. At any rate, they set that record in 2013, and previously, the title belonged to the Mexican state of Guanajuato, and they had 341 participants in 2010. So we need to go bigger, right? Bigger and better. And, as I said before, Jalisco, come on, step up. So they did. And the head of the Ministry of Tourism of Jalisco, Germán Raliz Cumplido, said that in honor of the iconic drink that has become the country's ambassador par excellence, tequila lovers and enthusiasts will gather together at Guadalajara's Plaza Liberacion at 5 p.m. on Sunday, March the 24th, for the world's largest tequila tasting. Breaking this record will result in the worldwide promotion of the state of Jalisco, as the Guinness Book of World Records is the second most popular book on the planet after the Bible, with more than 3 million books in 22 languages sold in 100 countries. We are proud that the tequila represents not only Jalisco, but Mexico internationally, and therefore, as an extension to the celebrations of the National Day of Tequila, this Sunday, we will send a message that transcends borders in the tourist promotion of our state, the tourism secretary said. Of course he said that. He is the tourism secretary. He's supposed to say that. Anyway, and break the record they did, but it was not with a minor hitch. Let me read from the online article, Agencia EFE. Almost 1,500 people toasted in unison and sipped on the alcoholic drink in Guadalajara. The participants sipped on the various samples of tequila, the distilled drink, using fluted glasses. No sooner had the partygoers finished a drink, they all belted out a toast of salud in unison. As the party progressed, people started breaking into song, and together they sang Cielito Lindo, a popular 19th century Mexican song, as Guadalajarans celebrated their achievement together. We did it! We did it! People could be heard yelling jovially as they shook their handkerchiefs, raised their glasses, and partied like crazy. Anyway, the party wrapped up with mariachi music as Jalisco established itself as the cradle of tequila, for the time being at least. Tequila is Jalisco's gift to the world, and this record represents Mexicanness. Francisco Javier Soltero, vice president of the National Chamber of Tequila Industry, said. The huge tasting session took place in the city center with the 17th century Guadalajara Cathedral and Teatro Delegado as a backdrop to the event. Participants flocked to the Plaza Liberacion as the sun was setting on Sunday, but organizers had to wait for the square to fill before launching the epic tasting. And here's where the hitch came in. The hour-long delay was to ensure that they could beat the previous record, which had been reached only the previous day. That's right. On Saturday, the day before, in Mexico's easternmost state of Quintana Roo, a peninsula on the Mexican Gulf and the Caribbean. The tequila gathering in Quintana Roo brought together 1,448 people. So, once the organizers in Guadalajara were confident that they had enough people to establish a new record, Jaime Villalobos, the master tequila taster, guided the throng through a professional sampling of the agave-based beverage. So there you go. How interesting is that? Quintana Roo was almost number one, almost beat out Jalisco. How about that? Anyway, the article goes on. It says the crowd learned about the three types of tequila. The silver tequila, which is clear in color, has a short aging process. Gold tequila, also a young spirit, but with a caramel shade. And rested tequila, also known as reposado, meaning it has been aged in wooden vessels for anywhere between 2 months and 3 years, which has a deep golden hue. Natalia Ramirez, a representative of Guinness World Records, said that although 60 people did not partake in the tasting, 1,486 strong gathered in the capital of the western state, Jalisco, and still secured the record. Really? What's with that? 60 people didn't drink? They were there? Oh, maybe they were kids. I don't know. Tequila is considered Mexico's ambassador to the world, along with mariachi and charreria, and Jalisco is the country's main producer of tequila, above Guanajuato, Michoacán, Nayarit, and Tamaulipas, and the only states within the tequila denomination of the origin, he added. So that's how they did it. Jalisco now holds the record for that big gathering of tequila tasters. Woohoo! All right, so let's catch up a little bit on some listener email here. Let's see, I want to get this one out here. This is a common thread this time of year. I got this one from listener Alfredo, and Alfredo says, "Hey Barry, I've been a listener for the past 2 months. My family and I have booked a trip to PV, which is coming up the next couple of days. We have reservations via Airbnb, and we're staying near the marina. My question for you is, what activities would you recommend based on the weather? It seems like it will be raining most of the time that we're out there. Truly is disappointing, but we'll make the best we can. Our trip is from May 31st through June the 10th. Thanks for your podcast. It's made planning this a whole lot easier. Thank you, Alfredo." So I sent him back an email and I said, "Alfredo, hola. Don't worry, you're going to have a great time. First, the weather reports are going to say rain and thunderstorms, but rarely are you going to see rain all day, or if at all. The rain comes in the late afternoons, you're going to see it building up in the south, then lots of rain for an hour or two, and then that's it. You are going to be arriving and leaving before the traditional start of the rainy season, which is June 15th, so you may not even see any rain at all. I was there last week. The weather was perfect. It's a little warm and humid as summer arrives, and remember, the rains are warm too. So make your plans before 5 p.m., and all should be fine if it does rain. Also use buses and Ubers and taxis, and get out of the marina area. Come downtown to the south side of Vallarta. Let me know if you have any further questions or concerns. Have a great time, and I actually doubt you're going to see any rain your whole trip. Let me know if I'm right, okay? Okay, so then I get an email back from him. He says, "Barry, this email is long overdue. Puerto Vallarta was such a great choice for vacation. You were completely correct about the weather. We really enjoyed it, even though it was cloudy. The people are very friendly, and listening to your podcast made traveling easier. I had a family member almost get hooked at the Shark Tank. Of course, I immediately jumped in and cleared things up. We definitely want to plan another trip out to Puerto Vallarta. I have added the Airbnb place that we stayed to this email because it was a family trip. We completely enjoyed the place. It had the right amount of security. The place is very family friendly. Since the place is residential, we didn't see too many tourists at that facility, which we enjoyed since all the amenities were available when we chose to use them. The only downfall was that the place did not have after-hour facilities. The restaurant closed at 5. Okay, thank you again for your podcast. If you have any recommendations for a specific time to travel to PV and save on airfare, please share. Here's the link. Thank you, Alfredo. So I included that link to Alfredo's Airbnb. And wow, what a spread. This place was big. He spent about $300 and some odd dollars a night. But this was a palace. You got to see this. Anyway, I got a link to it in the show notes. So you want to check that out. Now I'm going to have to get back to Alfredo. Alfredo, I'm going to have to get back to you on that airfare because I got to find out where you live. So we'll talk about that. But yeah, weather reports this time of year, they always say it's rainy. They always say there's going to be thunderstorms, and everybody freaks out. But in reality, it's just for a couple hours. And like I said, it's usually in the evening. So don't worry about it. The only thing you have to worry about this time of year is it's hot. It's freaking hot and humid, okay? That's what you got to worry about. All right. You know what? Let's get to the interviews, shall we? Yes, let's do it. Now, when we first started coming to Puerto Vallarta, my wife and I, back in the early 80s, we were kind of sad to see so many stray dogs around town. It seemed like they were pretty much everywhere back then, begging for food. They didn't look so good. They followed you around town, followed you along the beach, But as time went on, and as the years passed, we noticed fewer and fewer year by year. And thank goodness for that, because nobody likes to see a sad stray dog. Still, they are around in Puerto Vallarta. Not as many, but we see them. Of course, on Quale Island, if you've walked around there, then you know that's a big dumping ground for cats. And unfortunately, the sad reality there is every once in a while they go through there and they poison them, kill them off from time to time. It's just kind of like population control. But it's where people dump their stray cats. It's just so sad. And of course, when you dump stray cats on that island, there's issues because there are iguanas, and the cats get into the iguana population and ravage the iguana population. So, no bueno, if you ask me. But when it comes to strays, Mexico is not alone. Bombay, India, Mumbai. It's terrible there. They got a horrible problem there. Not only do they have a bad stray dog issue there, but there is very little pet adoption going on in India. It's just the gene is not there for those people. They don't consider holding pets to be an ethical thing. So anyway, back to Mexico, Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, I should say. There are numerous animal rescues all around the bay. Lucky for stray dogs, I got to tell you. We've met several of these rescues over the last 2.5 years, but Deborah is going to tell you that this is not really a rescue per se. Deborah Donick, she has a Facebook group called PV Mexico Adopt, Donate, Foster, and Flight Angels, and that is one long name, isn't it? You don't have to remember it. I have it written down for you. Anyway, she's another one of these dog lovers out there, and another volunteer, friend of hers, Anne Selby. They got together with a really great idea. So let me read from their About section on the Facebook page. It reads, Sandee's Project. We are 2 volunteers that have come together to assist animals in need, along with local animalists in the Puerto Vallarta area. Would you consider walking with us in our efforts to help these abandoned and abused animals? You can donate to Sandee's Project. You can share the posts, foster an animal, be a flight angel. So many opportunities to assist out there. Gracias, and Selby, and Deborah Donick. So while I was in Puerto Vallarta, I asked Deborah and Anne if they would take a little time and talk to us about their project, about Sandee's Project. And what do you know? They said yes. So anyway, we met over at Mango's Beach Club for breakfast. Mango's is a beautiful spot. It's over on Playa Camarones, over in the Cinco de Diciembre neighborhood of Puerto Vallarta. And so let's go there right now. We had a little talk with Deborah and Anne about their project, Sandee's project. Deborah, Anne, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you very much for having us. We're super excited.
Thanks for having us, Barry.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. Let's start with you, Deborah. Where are you from, and what was the path that led you to Puerto Vallarta?
I am from Alberta, a small town called St. Albert, just outside of Edmonton. And I would have to say two things. One, snow, lack of here. And of course, just a different lifestyle, looking for a different opportunity just to see what it was all about.
Nice. And how about you?
I'm from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, and I was fortunate enough to be able to take retirement early. So I decided that Mexico was a good place for me, and Puerto Vallarta was my first stop.
Really? So
Yeah.
you had never been to Puerto Vallarta before?
I had been here on vacation.
Okay, you have.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you knew this was a great spot.
Yeah, and I'd been to a few other places in Mexico, and I decided it was a good place for a single woman to come down. It was safe. It had a lot of things to offer.
Excellent. All right. So how long you been here?
About a year and a half.
Year and a half. And how about you, Deborah?
This fall will be 3 years.
3 years. What do you miss most about Canada?
Hawkins cheesies and coffee crisp.
But you, Deborah, anything?
I think the biggest thing I miss, of course, is friends and my family.
Yeah.
But they do come visit, so it's a win-win.
Yeah, it is. And they're happy to come here, and you know, you might or might not be happy to have them come here and stay all the time. You know. It's
Well, you're a
kinda tough,
tour
isn't it?
guide when they come, which is a good thing because I think that's our responsibility is to show them how great this place is.
Okay. Oh, so it's your fault.
Always.
Okay. All right. I got it.
Never ending.
All right. So tell us what you do here. What do you do here in Puerto Vallarta? Keep yourself busy.
I work remotely, so I do have a business, and I have a business back in Alberta. And then I do as much in the animal arena as I possibly can on a volunteer side.
Okay, and that's why we're here today. So let's talk about that. You have a Facebook page. Tell us about that page.
So about 2 years ago, I started a page, and it's called PV Mexico Adopt, Donate, Foster, and Flight Angels. Kind of a one-stop shop for people to be able to go to and have needs met through the page itself, either by what we post as admins or by what other people post.
Okay. What kind of things are you posting?
We post the availability of a flight angel, which is a person that's willing to escort a dog outside of the country. We post a significant need on donations for a certain dog if it needs help. We have people always looking for foster homes. That seems to be the biggest problem right now is getting a foster home. And then awareness. You know, we've had some dog nappings lately, and we needed to make sure people are aware of how to keep your animal safe so that it doesn't get stolen. So it's a resource page, really, at the end of the day, and an action page.
Okay. Are you a dog rescue?
No, we're not a dog rescue by any stretch, but all of us have rescued.
Okay.
Like, we're not a group, we're not an association
Okay.
of dog rescuers. We are a resource center for people that actually do rescue.
Oh, okay. So you're helping people, kind of giving them a step-by-step on what to do?
Right. We want to be a support system. So we launched a brand new initiative. It's a community philanthropy initiative. We launched it on Thursday. It's called Sandee's Project. That will be our action to help the community, and it's basically only for individuals that rescue. There's some really great rescues in town as far as societies, and they have their own contacts, they have their own things. So we are focusing on the individuals that consistently rescue and are constantly using their own money or begging for fosters. So we want to help those people.
Ah, wow. Okay. And so how are we going to do that?
How we've already done that. We've
Okay.
already started.
All right, so let's hear about it.
So we currently have helped, I think we're up to 16 dogs if you do a count.
Mm-hmm.
And we just launched on Thursday. We've
Wow.
received donations already, so people are, the community, because it's a community philanthropy project, what we say to people is you might not be able to take a dog in personally as a foster, but you can certainly donate to the cause.
Mm-hmm.
We'll make sure your money gets to where it's supposed to get to. And we're going to be completely and absolutely transparent with the monies that come in and the monies that come out.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to post every single month, mid-month, on what we did the previous month. Anne's going to let you know kind of how that is all going to work, what the posts will look like and why we're going to do this.
Okay. All right, Anne.
Yeah, so once a month, what we want to show is how much money has come in,
Mm-hmm.
how much money has gone out, and who we have helped.
Huh? Oh, okay.
We're going to post pictures of every dog and that we have, or cat that we have helped that month, and we just want to be completely transparent.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, if people want to know where their money's going.
Exactly.
And-
And the more that we, the more that is donated every month, the more that we can help.
What kind of advice do you give these people? How do you coach them? What do you do?
In the last 6 months, I've been mentoring 5 different people that see an animal in distress and they want to help.
Okay.
So most of them have the financial resources to do it, but they don't understand what it takes. So first thing you do is take the dog, you get it to the vet. There's a protocol at the vet to make sure this dog is going to go in the right trajectory for health-wise. Once that's done, now you got to have a safe place to put the dog. So we help them with that. Once the dog is being fostered and ready for adoption, now we help them understand that process and what that looks like and how to vet a home to make sure the dog is going into the best environment possible for, the temperament of the dog is important. Then from there, if it's going out of the country, now we have to connect them with a flight angel to get that dog on a plane, escorted out of the country to wherever it's going. Then, of course, there's the subsequent follow-up after the dog is in the home. I mean, we don't pester the new people, but we certainly support the new adoptive family, and we try and really make sure that they understand that there's time. It takes time for a dog to merge into their home and in their pack, and we work with them and give them confidence on that.
Mm-hmm.
Encourage them to get a trainer if they need, and then close it, and we're on to the next one. And so simultaneously, I've had 5, and I thought, so then I said to the women that are doing this, now you have all this knowledge, and now you can go mentor somebody in your neighborhood, and you can help them. Because now you know what it takes to pull a dog out of a lousy situation, a terrible situation, and give it a great life.
Oh, wow. It's incredible. I'm getting all choked up. This is neat. What countries allow you to bring dogs into rescue dogs and bring them back? In the U.S., do they allow it? Do they allow it in Canada?
You mean to send dogs out?
Yeah.
Our main countries are Canada and the United States, simply because of the flight times, for one.
Okay.
To fly a dog from here to England or something. First of all, we have no way of really ensuring what home that dog is going into. And second of all, the flight times and everything, we wouldn't want to put a dog through that.
No, yeah, that's very tough.
Yeah,
Very tough on an animal.
So our main focus is Canada and also the U.S. as well.
Okay. So, what is the process of getting an animal in from Mexico? What kind of paperwork is necessary?
There's all the medical requirements. All the dog has to be vaccinated, rabies shots, dewormed. Basically a truly healthy dog.
Mm-hmm.
All that needs to be documented by the veterinarian, as well as once the dog gets into customs, it depends on whether you're a flight angel or whether it's your dog. If you're flying as a flight angel, you actually need a permit to bring that dog in.
Mm-hmm.
So we connect them with rescues in town that have the ability to give them a permit.
Okay. I got it. All right. Do you have any interesting stories about any dogs that you've rescued?
Well, Sandee's project is named after a dog, Sandee. So for about a year and a bit, this dog ran the streets of Vallarta, and several people tried to catch this dog. And they couldn't. One lady did catch it, it chewed through the leash, and it took off again. So on March 16th, probably about March 13th, a group of us got together and we went to the park by the Arches early in the morning on a Sunday looking for the dog. Didn't see it. We all, half that group came back at 10, 11 o'clock that night, and we stayed until 1 o'clock looking for the dog. Didn't see it. We were ready to leave, turned around, and the dog was in the back underneath the structure there in the park, watching us wait for it. Like, that's how clever this dog is.
Whoa.
So we managed to, get the dog. The dog was on the run again, and we managed to, there was enough of us to circle the dog in a 2-block radius, and she went right by me, and that was it. She was living underneath the rain culvert across from Burger King. That was her den.
Okay.
And we couldn't get in there to get her. There was just no way. You had to catch her out in the street. So when I saw that there was people willing to put themselves out to try and get this dog, to give up their time to get this dog, and they were serious, I said, okay, well, I'll pay for the dog's needs, just get the dog. And so Sandra, who is she's a national, she's such a huge animal lover, she took the next 5 days, 3, 4, 5 days, her and then Angel, who is with Tibet Canino, and she made friends with the dog over 5 days.
Okay.
And I got a text 7:30 in the morning, and the text said, "We got the dog. Bring us the crate." And I was like, "Wow!" So I went down, and the dog had submitted immediately. Angel is an amazing trainer, and he managed to get the dog to relax and submit. And when I got there with the kennel, the dog went right in. Well, the dog is an incredible dog. And we found it a home in Kelowna, British Columbia, and it flew out on May the 6th. Anyone that is an animal lover in Vallarta was watching this story. And I said, well, and I named the dog Sandee after the lady that really got the dog, which was Sandra. So we thought, from a marketing perspective, let's ride this train.
Absolutely.
Let's ride this train and see where it can go. And so that's where Sandee's project was and why it was named. So that's my dog story.
I love that dog story. But you have any dog stories for me?
Oh gosh, where do I start? I'd say the most recent dog story is well, gosh, I have two.
Well, use them both. Come on, Anne.
Yeah. I'll tell you Buddy's story. Buddy is a 15-year-old dachshund who was tossed out of a car on the highway up towards Nayarit. And someone that I know who is a huge animal lover heard about this and went running up there immediately. The whole tossing out of the car was seen by a tourist driving behind, and they stopped and got the dog, and then were like, what do we do now?
Yeah.
So they went on Facebook, and my friend went driving up there and got the dog, took him to a vet, and then she went on Facebook and said, need a foster, need help, need something. And I was like, oh my God. So I took him in as a foster, and that quickly became a foster fail.
Oh. You mean you love that dog, don't you?
I do, and honestly, he has a few medical problems, and he's very old, and chances of really adopting him are a little slim.
I imagine, yeah.
And I have a big heart for the oldies and the ones that are a little special.
Uh-huh.
So he is part of my life now.
Oh, that's
and
wonderful.
He's amazing.
Wow. Any others? You said you had 2, so I figure I'll milk it for all it's worth here, too.
I have he's a lab crossed with a Great Dane, and he's about 10 years old, and he came from the municipal shelter. Sort of taken out of the shelter because chances are that he wouldn't have survived in there. And he's been a handful.
Yeah.
A lot of training, socialization, and getting him back to be a really good, healthy dog. And he is amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Her dog, I live not far from her, and her dog, Nico, is the big black dog. I wouldn't walk on the sidewalk at the same time as her dog with my dog because it was so dog reactive. It was scary.
Oh, really?
And it would have just dragged her down the sidewalk because it weighs what?
Oh, it weighs about 90 pounds.
Okay.
So the investment on that side goes to show you if you're willing to put the time, energy, and money into a dog, you can flip a dog to what you know that dog is capable of. So obviously part of Sandee's project is the education aspect and the willingness to walk with people through it. So if we have to get you a trainer to help you acclimate this dog to your life, and we have got the financial resources to do that, we're going to do that for you. If you're willing to take a unadoptable in, basically, and work with it like Anne did.
Yeah. How are the veterinarians here in Puerto Vallarta? Do you have favorites?
Absolutely. There's some amazing vets. Amazing vets. And there's a lot of amazing vets that we don't know about that the locals and the nationals are, connected to. So Huesos is one of my favorites. Mascotas is good with Dr. Pina. Wolf's is great.
Yeah, I mean, those are probably the 3 that we would use, but for sure there's countless vets all over the city. And
okay. And
yeah.
Do they help out a little bit too? I mean, do they sometimes donate some of their time, or what happens there?
Yeah, I mean, they'll give you a better rate for a rescue foster than your own dog. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they do a lot in behind that we never hear about. Because if they broadcasted that, they would have a lineup around, 6 blocks long of people looking for that deal.
No doubt about it.
We know, the vets do what they do out of the love of the animals. Because we've seen it, they get right down on the floor with the dogs. And, you can tell that there's a heart connection there for sure.
Nice.
Much better than, my vet was good at home, but I'm sorry. I think the vet care here way surpasses anything north of the border.
Cool. All right. And I imagine that listeners, they probably have Yelp for vets here and stuff like that, right?
Word of mouth, I think, is really
that's what it's all about.
Yeah, I think
definitely
so.
Word of mouth and Facebook as well.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have files on our page that are going to give people lists of those kinds of things. So if they're curious about, what vet can help me, we'll have a list of those. What trainer can help me, we'll have a list of those. We want to develop 2 really significant lists. One is a foster list. This is the most crucial hole in any type of rescue, and it's definitely foster. So there'll be different files that people can go into and have a read about. We'll give them the step-by-step. What does it mean to take a dog off the street? A tourist can be a part of this. A tourist can find the dog, go on the page, connect with somebody to help them. They can be back in their house in Toronto, and they can still manage the process, because that's what's happening right now with 3 of the people that I'm mentoring. Oh. They're out of the country, but they are still connecting the dots.
Right. It's very helpful. It'd be helpful for anybody. I mean, not just in Puerto Vallarta, but anybody who's looking to, rehab a dog, get him off the street. What are the main issues with these dogs that you pull off the street? I know everybody's a little different, but do you see anything that kind of, I don't know, is the same about them?
Certainly poor nutrition is one. Most of them have Ehrlichia, which is a disease caused by ticks. What else? Worms.
Yeah. So those are the kind of issues that these dogs come in with. Parasites and whatever you get off the street for eating, rotten food and all that other good stuff.
Exactly. And we'll go through periods where there's a distemper outbreak, and suddenly a whole lot of street dogs have distemper. And then that'll all calm down, and then 6 months later you might have another distemper outbreak.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. Wow. All right, let's go away from the dogs just for a minute. Let's move on, and we'll come back to them. We're gonna go to the bonus round. This is the one that we ask everybody what their favorite places are to eat and stuff like that. So let's do that first. Deborah, you got a favorite lunch, breakfast, or dinner place?
I have two. One is breakfast, and that is El Patio on San Salvador. Their eggs Benedict are legendary.
Really?
The second one is over by the Guadalupe. It's called Casa Traditional, and they're Mexican, and that's my favorite evening dinner place. And the prices are great, the staff are amazing, and the food is quality every single time.
Great, that's nice. How about you, Anne?
For breakfast, I would choose either Canuck Cafe or El Patio as well.
Uh-huh.
A bit of an Eggs Benny fan, and both of those places have great Eggs Benedict.
Okay.
Dinner, that's a bit of a tough one. I've only been here for a year and a half, and honestly, there are so many good restaurants here that I'm still in the process of trying them.
Well, let's see. It'll take you the 900 restaurants. It'll take you 3 years. Should be no problem at all. Should be able to handle that, right?
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to Restaurant Week, which is on right now for a month, and trying a few more new restaurants.
Yeah, that's a great deal. The Restaurant Week. If you were going to leave town for a day, where would you go? And come back. You're not going to sleep out there. You're going to go for a day trip, and you're going to come back. Where would you go?
El Tuito, I think, is a really cool, eclectic little town. I love it. So that's south.
Yes. Anne, how about you?
I would also do the same, simply because I've never been there yet and really, really want to. Yes. So that would be my first choice.
Nice. Okay. How about if you were going to go off for like a long weekend, like for 3 days? Where would you go?
Maito. And Maito's just beyond El Tuito. So if you want to check out a reality, that's a great place to do it.
Yeah. Where do you stay when you go to Maito?
El Rincon, I believe it's called.
El Rinconcito.
See, and it's right on the very end. And you can also tent there at 100 pesos a night, which is pretty slick.
It is pretty slick. They've got a place set up there with a little covered area out on the sand. Nice.
I love it.
Yeah, I didn't know you could camp. I've seen campers there, but I didn't know that you could actually, pay 100 pesos and
and then you
there.
can have access to their showers and their bathrooms.
Huh. Wow. No, that's a good idea. I'm trying to remember how much it cost me last time I was there. I think it was just 600 pesos. Just for another 500 pesos, you can stay in a room with a bed. All right, never mind. All right. If you want to camp under the stars, that's how you can do that. Anne, where would you go for 3 days?
I would go up the coast to San Pancho. I have a friend up there right now, and it looks amazing. I've never been. Just looks like it has a really cool vibe to it. A little slower paced.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and a beautiful beach. Mm-hmm. A beautiful beach. And so many restaurants there. Oh my gosh. They think that they're Puerto Vallarta or something like that. I don't know. What word of advice would you give to a first-time visitor to Puerto Vallarta?
Get out of your resort.
Yes, exactly.
Walk around. Get off the Melicon. You know, go 3-4 blocks up, or go to PTL, or get on a bus and take the Tunnel Road tour. Like, honestly, take the 10 peso tour, but don't stay on your resort. Get out and about.
Yeah, excellent. What warning? What kind of warning would you give to somebody?
I would say just have the same common sense that you do at home. And don't do anything here that you wouldn't do at home. You know, there's no need to get stupidly drunk and run naked down the street. You wouldn't do it where you live, so why do it here?
Yeah.
And be respectful. Be respectful that this country has welcomed you with open arms. Be appreciative of that.
I like that. Okay, so let's go back to Sandee's project. If somebody was looking to find you, it's just a Facebook page, right? I mean,
Correct. Yeah.
And then obviously from there they can contact you and hook up and even figure out how they can get money to you. How do you do that? You take PayPal? What are you going to do there?
We have PayPal as well as e-transfer. And we'll have a very specific email for that. But for now, you can send it to either myself or Anne. And if you want to know what that is, sitting here chit-chatting with you, had a woman walk up and hand us
500 pesos. Yeah, look at that.
So we also have the Witchery, which is in the 5D area. Jean has graciously accepted that as a spot. It's right across from Captain Don's.
Okay.
As a place where people can drop off money, and she'll let us know when it's there, and we'll go and collect it.
Okay. All right. So I'll have directions and instructions to get people there. Any other spots? No? Not yet.
Not yet. Well, we're working. Networking is part of this particular endeavor, and so if anybody in town has a business and they want to be a drop-off point for collecting for Sandee's project, just reach out to us and we'll certainly come down and have a chit-chat with you and make sure that it's all good to go.
Excellent. Okay, cool. Is there something I missed? Is there something else you want to talk about?
We're going to be doing a big fundraiser in the first week of December up at El Rio Barbecue. If you follow our page, everything will be there. We'll have events listed. So that's in December, and that'll be a big fundraiser for awareness purposes, really. That's the number one criteria, and then, of course, financially. Secondary, I think what we're going to start doing, and then we're just talking about this right now, is we're going to do what's called a foster pack walk on the Melicon. Means if you have a foster dog and you want to get that dog some awareness, we're going to meet all together with the fosters and we're going to walk the Melicon, and hopefully there's enough of us that cause a bit of an excitement and stir that people stop and ask what's going on.
It's a great idea.
And you could find such a great local family for your dog that otherwise you would never, maybe they're not on Facebook.
Right. Or, not your friend, so they wouldn't be following you anyway.
Exactly.
Right.
So it's just awareness. That's the biggest thing, and helping people understand you can think outside of the box to get this dog some awareness.
Okay. All right, so what's the name of the page again?
PV Mexico, Adopt, Donate, Foster, and Flight Angels.
Okay. That's all one?
There's commas in between.
Okay, of course there is.
Yeah.
All right.
We're going to start hashtagging our posts with Sandee's project every time we post, so that when somebody types in Sandee's project, that will come up.
Yes. Excellent.
And we will be having an Instagram account as well. So that'll
okay. All right. So you'll look for it on Instagram too if you don't do the face bag.
Right.
All right. I just can't thank you both enough for coming and talking to me and introducing yourself to me and letting me introduce you to my listeners. I really appreciate that.
Well, thank you very much as well.
We really, really appreciate this. We know that there's a lot of people doing a lot of stuff out there, and we wish them all well, and we hope they all continue to push along and do what they do. So this is just one more little piece in Vallarta maybe to help more animals. So we really appreciate the plug.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. That's what I'm here for. Thanks for coming on the show, you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Those are great ideas. These ladies are terrific. They also have another great idea. They are having a drawing, and you can get involved in this if you like. They are having a drawing for a Air Canada or WestJet gift card worth 700 Canadian dollarettes, or an Alaska Airlines gift card for 500 US dollars. They cost 25 US to enter, 30 Canadian or 500 pesos to get you in the running for the drawing. And the drawing is going to be held on Facebook Live on July 15th over at noon. So take a chance and donate to Sandee's project and help Anne and help Deborah rescue some dog rescuers, okay? I have links to that in the show notes for this episode, so make sure you check that out. And enter often. The next interview we are going to have is going to take you to a very lovely restaurant. It's across the street from Inglesia de Nuestra Senora de Guadalupe, that beautiful, beautiful crown church in downtown Vallarta. This restaurant is colorful. It's got potted plants. It's painted colorfully on the exterior, and it has total Mexican flair going on there. And inside the restaurant, you're going to be treated with even more of the same kind of Mexican surroundings, colorful. The food is great. The menu is big. The manager in charge, Nino Montes, is a really nice guy. He's been around the food service scene in Vallarta for many, many years. So let's go right now. Let's hear the story about this restaurant, and let's hear Nino's story as well, shall we? Let's go to Calle Zaragoza, 245, in Colonia Centro Vallarta, and let's meet Nino Montes, the manager of Casa Traditional Cocina Mexicana, Puerto Vallarta. Nino, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you. Welcome.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from, and are you from Puerto Vallarta?
Yeah, I'm original from here, from Puerto Vallarta.
Tell me about yourself. You've been in the restaurant business for a while, yeah?
Yeah, I've been in the restaurant business for 33 years already.
Really? Tell us a little bit about that. Where'd you start?
I'm a start when I'm young and dishwasher, and it's one of those local restaurants. And after learn a little bit more in the different kind of restaurants, bartender, different positions in the restaurants, head waiter, working in the bars, and keep the experience,
Yeah. Any bars that we would know about?
Carlos O'Brien, 4 years. Outback restaurant, Ginger restaurant, Nuevo Vallarta, manager of the Punta de Mita restaurant, Blue Shrimp and Si Senor, and now I'm here in Casa Traditional.
Wow. Okay, so you've come a long way.
Mm-hmm.
A long way. Now,
and actually I'm working in Cancun too for 10 years.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
How'd you like Cancun?
It's so nice. Yeah.
Yeah, did you
Too
like
much.
it?
Yeah. I like it. I've been there for play soccer, and after working at a nice hotel over there.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about what Carlos O'Brien's was like, because it's not there anymore. It's kind of a legend. Maybe you could fill us in on that place.
Yeah, when I'm starting Carlos O'Brien, I have 16 years old, and it's the place is like amazing. It's one of those my favorite place to work.
What happened there?
I don't know what happened after come back from Cancun. The place is almost closed, but everybody miss Carlos O'Brien because it's one of those nice bars over here.
Yeah. What's in its place now?
Senor Frogs.
Senor Frogs.
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, that's a long distance call from Senor Frogs. It was Carlos O'Brien's. All right. Talk to us a little bit about this restaurant that we're in right now, Casa Traditional.
Uh-huh.
Tell us about the concept here.
Okay, this restaurant, when I'm starting over here, when I'm looking for job here, I know the owner, I know the manager working here before. So we're working together for 16 years ago, and the Blue Shrimp we started over there, and now the owner, when the owner is working in Blue Shrimp, he's a manager there. Now he's now is Casa Traditional owner, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then those guys give me some opportunity to work here. When I'm star, I see the place like like this things, like this kind of. The place is beautiful right now, and then I'm looking for good people working for us, and I'm starting doing some crazy deals for the restaurant, like flambe de fajitas, making show with the fajitas, and then doing some like a Carlos O'Brien's style, and the people is start loving that one. I'm changed everything, the whole concept in the restaurant. But the people love it. Some people not, but the most people love it. They come over here because they say, this is a great place, food is amazing, the ambience over here, music, all the waiters is happy, everybody's have a friends. We are friendly people over here, like a family.
So you do do you get like mariachis come through, you get some live music?
We have a live music, but no, it's not a mariachi, it's a trio. But as a brothers, brothers and the music, those guys is amazing. See, everybody love those guys.
As I look around here, it is bright, it's colorful, it's very... and rustic, too. It's got a little bit of everything. So it's not like one of these, shiny... stainless steel kitchens. It's got a really good feel to it. I think that's really important too. What's your menu like? What are your best-selling items on your menu?
Okay, we have a little bit everything on the menu. We have an appetizers, a couple appetizers. The most popular appetizer here is the queso cilantro. Cilantro cheese is amazing. We have octopus three chiles, and that one is an appetizers. We have some soup and salads. Bicolor soup is one of those poblano soup with corn, yellow corn soup too. Is mixed. That's why we call it bicolor. And a good tortilla soup too. And we have some options in Mexican dishes. Is like enchiladas, enmoladas, Chile Rellenos, I told this to my customer, Chile Relleno is like my grandma recipe. Yeah. Everybody's believe me, but it's amazing. That's a Chile Rellenos is like a grandma's, It's a local dish. And we have some options in fajitas, Fajitas, we have a chicken, beef, shrimp, or ribeye fajitas. And also we have the catch of the day. We have 5 different recipes on the catch of the day. All the time, the waiters, when the customers come, they tell us to the customers what is the catch of the day, and we have some good tuna, seared tuna with the hibiscus salt. This is amazing. And also we have some octopus, grilled octopus, and the specials and the special on the menu, like a Mexican from different states in Mexico. We have molcajetes, good molcajetes. We have cochinita pibil. That one is a famous dish from southern Mexico, Mérida. We have carnitas, it's Michoacan style. That one is lovely. It's amazing. This is another good things. We have a barbacoa from Guerrero. We have some tan pequeña, mole, black mole. It tastes like chocolate and spicy. Mm-hmm. It's a good dish. We have a couple of steaks. We have arrachera, beef fillet, ribeye, grilled flank steak. We have options for everybody.
It sounds like it. You have some vegetarian options too?
Yeah, we have some vegetarian options. We have chile relleno with cheese. We have some fajitas, veggie fajitas. And I have an options for vegans too.
Excellent. Yeah.
wherever.
Really? For those
Yeah.
troublemakers, you got
Uh-huh.
options for them too?
Yes, of course.
All right. Well,
That's why Casa Tradicional is famous right now, because we have options for everybody.
yeah.
We don't have a kids menu on the menu, but we have some options, for the
Yeah.
kids.
All right, so just don't be afraid to bring the whole family. And
Uh-huh.
it sounds like you got just about everything for everybody.
Right.
Looking at your bar here, you got a ton of different tequilas going on here. Do you do tequila tasting here, or what do you do here?
No,
No,
we
you just
don't.
do tequila drinking.
Yeah,
here. Okay.
it's only drink tequila and margarita. It's only you guys. The reason you guys come over here to drink margaritas with a good tequila.
Yeah, and I'll put a picture of all these tequilas he's got set up over here. You'll find it, of course, on the blog post, and you'll do that at www.puertovallartatravelshow.com. You know where to find it. So let's go from the restaurant and let's just go outside to Puerto Vallarta, because you are one of those pata salada guys.
Yes, of course.
If I know that you don't serve breakfast here, so we're going to go to the breakfast here. Where would you go for a good breakfast here?
I like to, I have my option places. I have my favorite places. It's one of those in Marina Vallarta, Mr. Cream. I like when I'm broke, a little bit broke with money. I'm going to Ramblases, the pancake house. It's in Ramblases,
Yeah.
and also.
So this is not the Memos pancake house.
No,
this
it's
is
another.
in the Ramblases.
Casa del Pancakes.
Okay, really.
La Casa del Pancakes, yeah.
Yeah.
Because when it's like an options for the people who have like a media, social media.
Yeah.
It's go over there, and then, but it's good place, because you have some options.
Cool. All right.
And when I have my money, I'm going to Freddy's Tucan, because now it's so fancy.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and you got to stay in line when you're there too. But what about the Pancake House? Do they have a line there?
Yeah.
In Ramblases, they probably do, don't they?
Yeah. Long, 15 minutes at least.
Really?
The
Okay,
way
so
the
everybody
fleas,
be
yeah.
ready for that.
Uh-huh.
Now, if you're going to go there, it's going to be 18 minutes. So now you just made it longer.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're not going to talk about dinner and lunch because I don't want to mess with your business. Let's talk about some advice for people. If you were going to leave town for a day and just go somewhere and come back, where would that place be?
To Sayulita, Yelapa, Las Animas. I was from here from Vallarta. I like to do go to Mismaloya for a day, go surfing to La Lancha or Punta de Mita to do a paddle boarding in Anclote.
That's where they got the best paddleboarding?
Yeah, the best paddle boarding is in Anclote. The water is so flat over there.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's small waves, but it's good for people try to learn doing the paddle boarding.
Ah, excellent.
Or when the people want to go learn some surf,
Yeah.
it's good because there is an options. Lots of guys, lots of schools over there.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It looks like they got a big beach over in Destilladeras. Is that good for surfing or no?
The Destilladeras is more like a beach break, It's like a beach break. The waves is not nice to, it's a
not
little
a
bit
good surfing
dangerous. Yeah,
waves.
it's not a good for surf, but it's people actually it's nice beach, because it's a longer, but now it's a private beach. No too much options to come into the beach,
Oh, really?
Mhm.
I didn't realize it was. What about Sayulita?
Yeah, Sayulita. I love Sayulita because I live there. When I'm young, I live with my family there, and I have a lot of family in Sayulita.
Yeah. All right. So
Yeah.
that's the reason you want to go back.
But
what about the waves?
Oh, the waves is amazing. It's so beautiful.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is a popular now is very popular in the world.
Yeah.
Sayulita now because it's the best waves, the best surfers.
So so if you're paddleboarding, you want something flat. If you're surfing, you want Sayulita.
Sayulita, yeah.
Okay. What about for 3 days? If you were going to go out of town and leave for 3 days, where would you go?
Guadalajara, Tepic. Tepic is because I like the weather over there. It's fresh.
Is there anything to do in Tepic?
Yeah, go. People, if I'm going there, I'm gonna stay with my family in Tepic, and then every day go to Santa Maria del Oro. the lagoon over there. It's close by to the peak.
Uh-huh.
But it's one of those good things and out from the peak, you know.
Yeah, up in
Santa
Nayarit.
San Nayarit, Santa Maria del Oro. It's a nice lagoon.
It's a lagoon.
Yeah.
So what do you do in a lagoon?
Yes, go to eat because they have beautiful fish chicharrones. You know, good seafood, good local bars over there. You know, near to the lagoon, and lots of music. People, guys come over there like our little bandas, and come. It's cheap, and then you enjoy it with the family. Take the boat for 50 pesos. You doing for person. You're doing a little around to the bay, the lagoon. It's nice.
It sounds great.
Uh-huh.
Wow. All right. Well, I'll mark that on my map. Yeah, that's cool.
And Guadalajara, when I went to Guadalajara, just go to see the zoo. You know, the zoo, go to the downtown of Guadalajara, and shopping.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everybody says they go shopping in Guadalajara.
Yeah.
For some reason. I don't know. What's that all about? All right. Well, let's see here. If you had a word of advice for a first-time visitor to Puerto Vallarta, what would it be?
Take the map or asking for information. What am I doing? And I start to explore Vallarta. You know, doing some walking on the Malecom. Go see the places. I like to go visit the church. You know, and walk into the romantic area. See the pier, you know, exploring everything, you know, Puerto Vallarta. What is the most popular things to do, and yeah. Actually, I'm live here, and then I'm doing the same way all the time. You know, when I come over here to downtown, I'm walking in the Malecon like a tourist, and I never tired to walking in this place, you know, because it's something to do all the time, always, you know.
It's exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
I feel the same way. We took someone to Vallarta once, and she said, "You're going to walk on the Malecon again?" So we're like, "Well, yeah, we are." It's the thing to do. It's a thing to do at night.
Yeah.
Here. Do you have a word of warning for anybody that's coming to Puerto Vallarta? You got like a piece of advice to tell them?
Yeah, no, there's only to recommend to the people when come over here is this: don't drink too much, and don't drink with the bottles, crystal bottles on the Malecon, and then also don't drive drunk, and take Uber. We have options right now, and have Ubers, taxis, or whatever.
Yeah. So keep out of jail.
Uh-huh.
That's really what that's all about, isn't it?
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, yeah. I mean, we all like to have a little bit too much fun. All right. Let's come back here. Let's come back to Casa Traditional. When someone comes walking in here, what will they expect to see?
First of all, the people doing over here is watching the restaurant. You know, the colorful place, and then people will say, "Oh my God, this is so beautiful," you know. And then when the people sitting on the tables, the first thing to do is hold the glasses, and they say, "Oh my God, those are beautiful glasses," because everything is for souvenirs here. You know, everything is for sale too. If you like the platters, if you like the glasses, people asking for the prices. We have everything for sale.
Ah, all right. See,
Yeah.
if you love remembrance of this place, just ask, right? I want this plate. Can I have this fork? No, don't ask for the fork, okay?
No, the fork.
Really, that's not that important, but that's very cool. How do people find this place? And it doesn't hurt being like right across the street from the church.
This is another thing, the good thing, you know. But only when it's a parade over here in December, it's a little bit noise. The bells.
I'll bet it's noisy, but I'll bet it's full of people,
Yeah.
right? Is
Yeah.
it packed full of people?
Uh-huh.
Right. All right. See, it's that's part of the excitement. So yeah, when those holidays are coming for the church, this is probably a good place to sit and have a front row seat too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, because it's really, really good over here.
You
You
can
know.
like watch the processions like right there. Just walk right by,
Yeah.
which is pretty cool.
Uh-huh.
But it is noisy. Okay, I get it. I get it.
Nah, but it's not. It's noise, but it's a little bit, you know. And then what is another thing people doing here is come to drink and enjoy the margaritas. You know, people love the margaritas.
Yeah. Now you make different flavors, or
Yeah, we have some tamarind flavor. We have a mango. We have some strawberry. They different fruits with the season, you know.
yeah, whatever's in season, and if you
Yeah.
got it, you'll make it for them, right?
One of those good margaritas here is a spicy margarita.
Really, you make a spicy margarita.
Yeah, serrano with serrano pepper.
Oh wow, it really extra spicy. It sounds like with the serrano pepper.
Yeah,
You leave
people
the
love
seeds
it. Yeah.
in
No, it's
Okay.
not without seeds. Yeah.
without seeds.
Uh-huh.
All right. Well, that sounds
Yeah.
very interesting. We'll have to check that out.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so where are you located? What is the street here?
They said we staying over here, Hidalgo 335, and Zaragoza. Hidalgo and Zaragoza.
Right on the corner of
Uh-huh.
Hidalgo and Zaragoza.
Yeah.
All right, very good. I'll have a map that'll take you right here. Actually, put you right in front
Mm-hmm.
of Casa Traditional, and I'll have pictures of the inside, pictures of Nino right here. He will have his smiling face, so you'll be able to see him. And next time you come to Puerto Vallarta, check out Casa Traditional. And thank you so much for allowing me to introduce you and this lovely restaurant to my listeners. I really appreciate it.
And one of those things, good one. Remember, if somebody see your page, asking for Nino, and then they have a free guacamole on the table.
All right. Did you hear that? All right. So get on down there, and when you come to the restaurant, ask for that free guacamole. Tell them that you heard
Yeah.
Nino on the show. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That's very nice.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Nino. Thank you so much. Nino was just a little nervous, but he did great, didn't he? I really like him, and you're going to like the food at Casa Tradicional. Oh, you'll like Nino too, but you're really going to like the food. And don't forget, while you're there, when you get in there and you sit down and you order your meal, tell them you'd like a free guacamole, and let them know that you heard about it on the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. All right? Of course you will. I have pictures of the place. Inside and out. I have food pics too, links to all the things he talked about, and the Facebook page, and a map that'll take you right to the front door of Casa Tradicional. But you know where to find it. It's right across the street from the beautiful church in downtown Puerto Vallarta. All right. Well, that should do it for this week. Next week, stay tuned for more on-the-ground reports from Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, with travel tips, great restaurant and excursion ideas, and more. But until then, remember, this is an interactive show where I depend on your questions and your suggestions about all things Puerto Vallarta. If you think of something that I should be talking about, then please reach out to me by clicking on the Contact Us tab and sending us your message. And remember, if you're considering booking any type of tour while you're in Puerto Vallarta, you must go to vallartainfo.com. That's JR's website. And make sure you reserve your tour through him right from his website. This is a value-for-value proposition, my friends. His experience and on-the-ground knowledge of everything Puerto Vallarta in exchange for your making a purchase of a tour that you would do anyway. You're just doing it through him as a way of saying, thank you. Thanks, JR, for being our guide. It costs no more than if you were going to use someone else, so just do it, really. And when you do take one of those tours, email me about your experiences. Maybe you can come on board and share with others what you liked or didn't like about the tour. Again, contact me by clicking on the Contact Us tab and sending off a message. And don't forget, he has his DIY maps, his tours. He's got his maps. He's got his DIY tours, his revitalized happy hour board, and more. And I have links to all of those in the show notes. And once again, if you like this podcast, then please take the time and subscribe and give me a good review on iTunes, if you would. That way we can get the word out to more and more people about the magic of this place, Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. remember, I made it easy for you to do just that with every episode I create. And if you haven't been to my website, you need to go there. Check it out. Have a look. I have links to the places we talk about, interesting pictures, and more. All right there in my blog posts and in the show notes for each and every episode that I create. So check them out for sure, all right? Okay. Thank you, Deborah Donick and Anne Selby from Sandee's project. Give them a go, man. Join them. Help them rescue some rescuers. I have links to where you can do just that. They're in the show notes, so check them out. And thank you, Nino. Thank you, Nino Montes from Casa Traditional. Check out their wonderful food. Get your free guacamole, okay? And make sure you purchase dinner or lunch there. You just don't get the free guac, all right? Eat, drink, be merry, have a great time at Casa Traditional. You will not be disappointed. Anyway, I have maps, I have links, everything. Come on out. And thanks to all of you for listening all the way through this episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. This is Barry Kessler signing off with a wish for all of you to slow down, be kind, and live the Vallarta lifestyle. Nos vemos, amigos.
Samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de amor junto al mar. Solo camino, perno por la playa, me encuentro junto al río, cuando todo está en calma, pronto cae la noche, brillas Puerto Vallarta.